in cashmere. Woo, 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 woo. I dress myself in $100 freedom slacks. Who made this coat? Hugo Boss, Armani. You set it up, broke. Hell, my life just started, Jack. You keep your mouth shut. I'm gonna go in there and slap your face. I ain't leaving. I'll wear a $15,000 Rolex and you get on Space Mountain. You'll be like this. And now, you and I are limousine ride, jet flying, kill stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Oh, who are you? Never tell me how to wrestle. Bright lights, big cities. I am Ric Flair, the President of the United States, that kissed all the girls in the neighborhood and made them cry. Kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding. Bischoff, you turn the camera off and I'll be naked when you come back.
We had a whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's
word attack skills and vocabulary too. Cover history of this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Everybody, what's going on? Ringtime Pro Wrestling does it again. Keith Keisha in the building. Keisha, say hi to the people.
When you have a summer cold, like whatever you do, if you have a sore throat, use Chloraseptic. It's awesome. Like, I'm telling you, it is the greatest thing ever for sore throat. Now, as far as everything else goes, I mean, just use regular cold medicine as you would, because that's what it is. I know I shouldn't start this out with like these unsolicited advertisements, but all I'm saying is use Chloraseptic. Like, it's greatness for a sore throat. That's all I'm getting at. Okay, that was my way of saying hey tonight, because this is what I've been going through for the last few days, and this is just how I'm opening up. Like, I need everybody to know this off top, because I'm excited about the fact that I no longer have a sore throat. Yeah. It is what it is.
Well, we are happy that you don't have a sore throat. You can talk, because this show would suck if you could not talk.
Oh my God, that'll be horrible. Hey, I sounded like a dude at the beginning of the week, okay? Like, I am thoroughly excited that I have somewhat of now. Now, if it sounds like I'm stuffed, it's because my nose is stuffed. So, yeah, like, my nose is still running. But other than that, like, I'm good. So, I might sound a little abnormal, but that's the only reason why. Now, earlier this week, my voice was a little deep. Like, it was horrible. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. My own boyfriend told me I can't be calling him sounding like Shaq. I was like, sir, like, this is you're not right. Like, he's mean. But he was still being mean.
Not an unreasonable request, but
whatever, Keith.
Not an unreasonable request. Just saying.
And then that was what I was told. He said, you can't, yeah, because I had Dad give me some Chloraseptic, and he was like, and I sprayed it or something, like, it was helping. And he was like, yeah, because you can't be calling my phone sounding like Shaq. I said, you know what? You're a horrible person, and I hate you. But you know what? You're right. It's not a unreasonable request. I mean, you know,
I'm just saying,
you don't want your girlfriend sounding like Shaq. Like, that's not okay. Like, it's just not okay.
I mean, most of us don't. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody who will email us and tell us they into that kind of thing. But that is neither here nor there. We are back after a week to recap the wonderful week that it was in wrestling, to recap WWE BattleGround, which I'm sure you have heard every hot take that has happened since then. Don't worry.
Exactly.
We got the real. We got Raw, we got SmackDown. All this is geared up for SummerSlam, right? Everything that has been done the last couple of weeks is all about SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer. SummerSlam is going to be huge. There's going to be an NXT takeover. They're going back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. So we're going to cover it. We're going to talk about it. But first, let's get into that. We'll get into the news and notes for this week. Some interesting and funny things have happened. But let's go to the pay-per-view. All right, Battleground pre-show. Aiden English defeated Ty Dillinger, Keish.
Okay, see, I'm not a pre-show watcher. So
yeah, most people are not.
Aware of this.
Most people are not.
Are you serious? Aiden English beat Ty Dillinger?
Yes, I was shocked because I believe that Ty Dillinger has beat Aiden English at the last 6 pay-per-view pre-shows. But this in particular was different. It was a clean win. Nothing to complain about. Nothing really to do. I don't know what it does for either competitor. I don't know what the plan is.
Absolutely nothing. Just
yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Here's the fact. The fact there's one-on-one match with no kind of belt on the line or nothing says a lot, right? That's very, very, how do I say, SmackDownish, right? It's something that don't belong on a pay-per-view. But
of course.
The pre-show.
That's why I was in the pre-show.
Yeah. I get the pre-show, right? Because one thing I touted the UFC for was the fact that, they got a bunch of pre-fights that's better or as good as the shit that come on the main card. Which
is true.
UFC is going down this Saturday, but they be fighting all day, Keish. I'm like, I can't believe it's that many people who fight. Because it's different people on every card, right? And they got a lot. I'm like, damn, the economy is still doing bad. There's a lot of people out here fighting. Look, Keish, it's one thing if you're an MMA fighter, right?
Right.
And you make the big money. You in the main event. But I ain't getting punched in the face for the 230 fight on a Saturday. For the big pay-per-view. Because I know it can't pay that much. It
really can't.
I ain't about to have some dude behind me try to choke me for $200.
Is it wrong to have the assumption that the earlier the fight, the less you're getting paid?
I'm pretty sure.
I know.
Look, man, I'm just saying the dudes fighting on Facebook ain't getting $1 million. No, I mean, because they got the Facebook stream, right? That happens about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, man, I ain't about to get choked on Facebook for $200. You kiss my ass.
Right. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It really isn't. How much it saves? No, that's not. Hey, man,
I ain't trying to turn my nose up and stuff, but there's certain things that happen. I'll be like, that's why I went to college. I didn't go to college for this bullshit.
Right. No, I never went. I didn't go to school for that. What do you mean? Are you serious? You saying that I paid all this money for this education just so that I can get punched in the face?
Yeah, I mean
that don't equate. That doesn't go together. What do you mean?
My college education said I can at least be a supervisor at McDonald's. Shit, let's somebody punch me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for $200. That ain't happening. But I digress.
Nah.
Right? Yeah, the pre-show, I don't think it works the same way. And I gotta admit, I was wrong. I thought that the WWE should do some pre-show or do some pre-show back. Really, what I thought they was underutilizing talent. And a good way to utilize talent would be use that pre-show time to give them some matches. One, they can get some work in front of a good crowd. Two, they can get some exposure to the broader audience instead of just trying to pull them out your ass later on when you need somebody to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, at least I got to do what I see, win a match or two. But I don't know if the format doesn't work or they just haven't done a good job executing and producing, right? Like, I don't mind the promos and the analysis before the pay-per-view, which I think is kind of overdone, too, a little bit on their end. They bring in the journalists now. They bring in Sam Roberts, or they bring in Rosenberg or somebody like that. They haven't brought in Keith Holt, which also is a failure of management and people who run this shit, because it's like, damn.
That's right.
How do you not have America's premier wrestling journalist on your panel? And y'all know me. Y'all done had me on panels before. So, I get Google Hangouts is free. But,
right.
I'm just asking for the plane ticket, Keish. I ain't asking them to hit me with no big check. I'm not trying to get a big payday. I just need a plane ticket and I need a hotel. That's all. If you come to Atlanta, you ain't even got to do that shit. All you got to do is call me. I'll be down at the arena. I'm off on Sundays. Holla at your boy.
Oh, God.
That's all, Keish. That's all. I'm not trying to tell y'all I'm Dave Meltzer, Bill Apter, or nothing like that. But I feel like I could be this generation's Dave Meltzer, Bill Apter. I think it's time. I think I'm part of the new guard. Sorry. I'll call it next. Call it my shot. Kyrie Irving this thing. Title LeBron.
Oh, God.
Okay, sorry.
Here we go.
Digress. Totally off topic.
Here we go.
All right. We get to the real show, Keish. I think maybe the best match of the night was the first match. And that is the New Day defeating the Usos for the tag team titles.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
Well, there was some... Yeah, I can agree with that. Because it sure wasn't the last, but, I'm not going to get to that yet. Okay.
Here's the thing. I'll say this. I thought it was very interesting that they went with the Xavier Woods Kofi Kingston lineup for the New Day. You know what?
I was actually glad they did that. Because a lot of people would say that I wanted it to be proven that they could do this without Big E playing a factor. Because when I have these conversations about the New Day with people, I have had a couple here and there that have been like, oh yeah, well, the New Day is nothing without Big E. In a sense, that's true, but at the same time, the three of them make up the New Day. It's not just Big E and Kofi or Big E and Xavier. So when they decided to go with Big E, they decided to leave Big E on the side. When they decided to leave Big E just accompanying them to the ring for the pay-per-view, I was like, okay, yes. When they pulled off the win, I was way more excited because I was like, oh, so he didn't even play a factor. That destroyed the whole argument. That destroys that whole argument for me. And I never have said that because of the simple fact that I know it's the three of them and they can work just cohesively with just Kofi and Xavier than when they can when Big E is an involvement and neither with either one of them. So to me it was a no-brainer. Like I was already excited anyway because it was the New Day and the Usos. I am a fan of all of them, by the way, people. So if you have seen my recent comments about SmackDown and whatnot, just know that I am a fan of the Usos and the New Day. So it is what it is. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But it's cool. We'll talk about that later.
Here's the thing. I will say this. I agree. The New Day as a group, I'm not saying everybody's equally important, but you need all three parts, right? That's given.
Right.
That being said, I'm not going into a match without my heavy hitter. Like, My default New Day lineup always has Big E, and I exchanged Kofi for Xavier. Now, I like Kofi better because I think Kofi's more athletic, but I'll switch Kofi and Xavier interchangeably. But I always keep the hammer, right? That being said, I like what they did. They played it up. This is the speed lineup. And they're going to have to win matches with just those two as the speed lineup. That way they can go in and play that narrative of, oh, we alter the lineup based on the competition, right? So sometimes we're going to go power and glory with Kofi and speed, da-da-da-da. But then sometimes we're going to go double speed. You know what I mean? Now, because Kofi or Xavier possess that powerhouse element, you can't say we're going to go all power one lineup either. But, I think they're going to figure something out. But, I was shocked that they won, Keish. Like, when they went to the Kofi Xavier lineup, I was like, oh, Usos will win this. And
that's awful, Keith.
They worked it.
Awful.
Oh, awful me. It's a fight. I picked the big dudes. I'm pretty sure that that's natural.
You ain't had the faith in them. I did. You know what? I don't even know who I predicted to win that. To tell the truth, I don't remember. So it might have been the New Day. I don't remember. I don't know. All I know is I was excited when they won. So it is what it is. I mean, not only are they the longest reigning, but you know what? Fun fact about this whole match: the Usos are the longest reigning SmackDown champions. Were the longest reigning. They're the longest reigning SmackDown champions at this point. The Usos. The New Day are the longest reigning tag team champions. Period. And now they are the first tag team to win the SmackDown and Raw tag team championships.
Yeah.
All this black magic everywhere is just awesome.
Kofi, I think, is the only person who's been the World Tag Team Championship, WWE Championship, and Raw and SmackDown. Like, basically, he's won every title, every tag title that exists over a brand extension.
He is.
Yeah. Very talented young man. Should say Nakamura defeats Baron Corbin via DQ due to a low blow. Very stupid finish, but I'll go with it.
That was awful. I was like, come on, man. You know what's crazy about this feud between them two is I was, and I mentioned this in tweets, I said, I feel like the feud between them two should have been drawn out, and it should have involved less fighting on SmackDown and more dialogue. I think this should have been a legitimate, rivalry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's not legit now, but what I'm saying is the fights that they've had on SmackDown, should have been less. It should have been, this legit hate for each other and, this legit smack talking, them facing other people and making this, really deep. You know what I'm saying? But what ended up happening is they just kept having these matches on SmackDown. They kept having these matches on SmackDown, and it just made it, it just seemed like they were just fighting each other every week. And I just kind of disliked that whole factor of it all. It was just, to me, it wasn't what it could have. The potential of this feud could have been way better. It was way more potential in there for this to be way more than what it was or what it is, per se. So when it came to Battleground, I said, okay, this is going to be a great match. But at the same time, this could have been a little bit deeper at this point, But the finish was just dumb. The finish was just stupid as hell. And I was like, why would you do this?
I'll agree with you. I think that the build-up for the feud would have been better served if both competitors would have had more time to talk. Because Nakamura's English is good enough, and basically you establish them as why they don't like each other, as opposed to just one dude kind of bum rushing the other guy. You know what I mean? For no real reason, and then now we get to a pay-per-view where we got a crappy finish.
Right.
Natalya defeats Charlotte, Tamina, Lana, and Becky Lynch to become the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title. Keish, I had no idea that Natalya was still in the mix and that they still had confidence in her.
Coming? Who the hell seen it coming? I'm pretty sure everybody that picked a winner for this Fatal 5-Way, like, no one picked Natalya. Nobody. But you know what? That's why she won. It was left field. It was like, all right, take the person that no one suspects and put them in the front. Bam. Right. There you go. Because we weren't going to see Lana and Naomi again. Like, let's just be real. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And now Becky and Charlotte, of course, were like no-brainers. Like, everybody was gunning for one of them to win. Tamina was a close third, but it wasn't like everybody was looking for Tamina. You know what I'm saying? But Natalya, it was just kind of like, well, Natalya had her time at one point in time, and, you know, I don't think people think that Natalya still has it, almost. It's just kind of like questionable a lot, you know.
I've never questioned whether she had it still. I question the booking.
Well, I don't either, but you know what? This is what they figured would be great for SummerSlam. Yeah. Natalya versus Naomi.
Because I always just thought the booking for her was very bad. Like, here's the thing. She's been around a long time. She was around way before this women's revolution, right?
Yeah.
And she was there during the days of, like, it kind of sucked, right? And she was a real wrestler in Barbie world. But she persevered, and when they changed over and they went to the new format, the idea was like, oh, a lot of fans was looking, especially me, like, hey, this could be her time to shine. And it hadn't happened. So I thought they weren't interested in her like that no more. Like, I thought they thought she was a good hand. I thought they thought that she was a positive influence for the company, but I thought maybe they just wouldn't.
I really seriously didn't suspect them to give her this spot, you know? Like, of course, at any other, you know what's crazy? At any other pay-per-view, like, it would have been, like, if we were talking about a Battleground or something like that, then this could have been, like, completely understandable. But we're talking about SummerSlam. And I'm like, oh, okay. But you know what? We'll get into more of that, too, because there's some additives about this decision that makes, to me, in my mind, makes it make sense. So, but we'll talk about that when we talk about SmackDown, because, like, that's pretty much how some of this goes. I mean, people, you're going to hear this a lot throughout this pay-per-view review, because SmackDown summed up a lot of stuff for me this week. It clarified some things for me this week. So, that's what that was. But, moving on.
All right. Kevin Owens defeats AJ Styles in a weird ending to regain the United States Championship.
Yeah, what happened there? Like, I'm still confused by that one. Like, what happened with that? I don't know.
Yep, just waiting on that. John Cena defeats Rusev in the flag match. He makes short work of Rusev, and of course we knew that this was not going to end well.
Right. Right. That match was kind of to me. Wasn't really too interested in that one. Like, Cena versus Rusev. Yay. Like, it was retarded. Because, I mean, they really literally just beat each other down the aisle, up the ramp, you know, to the steps for the flags and all that stuff. And I wasn't too thrilled about it anyway. So, that match was just kind of funny to me, I guess. But that's Cena and Rusev for you, I guess. That's what you want.
Right. Sami Zayn defeated Mike Kanellis, which I thought was also weird, but that happened.
No, you know what? I thought that was awesome. Not saying anything against Mike Kanellis, but I'm a Sami Zayn fan. You know, I might be one of the only Sami Zayn fans in the world.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't care. Like, by the way, I'm gonna make that my ringtone. Not Sami Zayn. I love that ringtone too, but I'm Mike and Maria Kanellis. I'm gonna have that as a ringtone. I sing that song all the time. I don't know why it's so catchy, but that song is awesome.
Right.
Like it is awesome. Like, but that you know, I find it Sami Zayn winning to be kind of surprising and very like left field.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because Mike is so new. Like, it's like, wow, like, you're really having him take L's already, you know?
Well, I was about to say, I think that's kind of the conundrum, because it's like, you about to let him take these L's right quick?
Yeah.
But, you know.
At a pay-per-view.
Right. To Sami Zayn? Nah.
Yeah, like, this is his first pay-per-view in WWE, and he definitely took a loss. Like, I was like, huh? I wouldn't agree with that part of it, but yeah, that's what happened.
All right.
They questions that need answers, I'm telling you.
Main event. Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, defeats Randy Orton for the WWE title in the Punjabi prison. It took about 8 dudes to do it. The Singh brothers were underneath the ring, but that wasn't even the big story, Keish.
No, was it? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Not even like a grain of salt, a little bit. Like, I wouldn't know near close to the story. Like, so, the originator of this whole match itself decided to make an appearance, Keith.
Right.
Like, the Great Khali just comes walking down to the ring. And it was funny because watching it, it's like, is this happening? Like, is this real? And then he proceeds to attack Randy Orton. Now, of course, it's not a normal beatdown of, you know, him punching him in the face or, you know, him actually, like, physically doing a lot to him. He just held him by his throat. Just completely choked him out. Why Jinder escaped the cage or whatever you want to call it, because I didn't know what to call it at first. I was like, what is this thing? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of mad throughout the whole match anyway. Well, throughout the majority of it, because, you know, now the commentators are on ringside like, hey, do y'all see this stuff? No, I don't see anything between these bars. Like, what do you mean? Like, it was an awful view. Like, that thing was obstructing every point of view you could get of this whole match in general. So, but it was, I mean, it served its purpose, you know, I will say that. It served its purpose, but with thanks to the Great Khali, you know, Jinder Mahal is still champion.
Right.
I can't believe I'm still saying that, Keith. Like, Jinder Mahal is WWE champion. The 50th WWE champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, Jinder's still rocking the belt. Khali is back. I don't know what else to do with that.
You really don't.
What we're going to do is we move on to Raw. Then we'll take our break. Then it is on to SmackDown or birthdays and news. And then we are headed home. Well, y'all home already. Y'all know what the hell I mean.
Right.
All right. So, Raw, Keish, Kurt Angle makes a decision on who will fight Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Apparently, Brock has a fatal 4-way booked for SummerSlam.
There's some big dudes in this fatal 4-way.
Yeah, no, big guys who I could deem legitimately dangerous. You've seen Joe's movies.
Yeah.
I think Roman could be dangerous, just could be awkward. And then there's Braun Strowman, who I think is just very massive. And is it me, or out of all this star power, Braun Strowman seems like the breakout guy out of this group?
He really does. I really didn't see. It took a minute, because with Braun, it was more like he sounded like a monster at first to me, and I think that was the whole point of his character, not to sound too much human. And it was really, I could understand an intimidation factor, But when he was in the ring with everybody else, like, I focused on him easily. It didn't take much. You know how some people whose name isn't as big as others normally get pushed off into the background, no matter how big or small they are. But Braun doesn't do that. And even because of physical appearance, it's him, And I really can agree with you on that point. I really can. It's just funny to me that I was reading an article, or I was reading something like maybe a good day or two before Raw happened, talking about, like, it was really a rumored card of what would be happening at SummerSlam. Because, of course, dirt sheets and, just wrestling fanatics and the internet will put out all kinds of rumored this and rumored that, and this is what we heard, and, that kind of stuff. So, this fatal 4-way was on that card. And I was like, oh, man, I really wonder how this is going to go. It's funny because that card also said that Naomi was going to face Charlotte. So it was just really amazing me that this is actually going to happen. But at the same time, Braun will not be left in the dark, Because if anything, he's not going to be the underdog in this match anyway. He won't. Like, it's just not going to happen. And it is not even just because of his physical size. It's because of his abilities. It's because of him. It's crazy. Braun's going to be the deciding factor in this story. Win, lose, or draw. So.
Right. I think it's going to be a very interesting match at SummerSlam. Elias Sampson defeats Finn Balor in a no DQ match because Bray Wyatt shows up and destroys things.
But of course.
So I guess their feud is full going. Big Cass defeated Enzo in a 1-on-1 match because why not? That being said, Big Show came out because Enzo was about to take a little bit more of a beating, and Big Show done caught that L again. So, they're working real hard to make this Cass thing work, Keish.
Yeah, they really are, but look how hard. They're straining. They're straining, Keith. It's really hard to be made believable. Like, it is. I no longer see Cass as the man that I once seen him as. I just don't. Like, I can't honestly say I can't. So, I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to do something. because his character is starting to fizzle a little bit.
Yeah. Nia Jax defeats Emma in one-on-one competition. Arya Daivari gets himself a cruiserweight title match against Neville. Was a title match on 205 Live or just a match? I know he got a match with Neville next week.
I want to say it was a match with Neville, and I don't know. I can just say I don't remember. I have to look, because I don't want to say it was a match with Neville, and then if he beat him, then he gets a cruiserweight title shot, and that kind of thing. So I have to see. But
so
it was really weird anyway.
Yeah. Bayley defeats Sasha Banks to get a shot at Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. I really wasn't expecting
Keith.
Bayley to pull that off.
Keith,
Yeah.
did you see the slaps?
Yeah.
Did you see those slaps?
I think
Okay.
we're setting up for the turn, right?
Right. But did you see the slaps?
Yeah.
Like, I watched those slaps probably about 15 times, man. I'm telling you, those slaps was something serious.
Well,
Like, I don't ever want to be slapped like that. Like, I don't ever want to be slapped like that. That was, ooh.
well, you guys
Wait,
think
baby. Look. Nope. Sorry. I had to. Cause
yeah. No,
those-
once you
those
take the
things
first
are
slap,
big.
I mean, I think that's what it's going to be, right? Because the thing is,
Right.
hey, man, when it's time for the comeback, I ain't about to let you slide on that.
And I have to. You know what? I like what I said. I watched this thing like 15 times, and Sasha really just expected Bayley to just take the slap and like be done with it. She came back with it, like, I mean, arm all the way from behind her and smacked her back. Like, it was amazing. Like, I was just sitting here like, those slaps though, like, oh my God. Like, they hit each other hard. And I was just watching like, oh, it's gonna be a fight. Because how can you not fight somebody that slaps you that hard? Like, there was no coming back from that. Like, I was like, oh my God. So, I have to honestly say that match was very intriguing after that point. Like, after that point, that match got rough. Like, oof. So, didn't see Bayley win that, but at the same time, I get it. I get it.
They pushed Bayley off to the side for a little bit. So now the narrative is Bayley's coming back. She's fighting back. She fighting back hard. She coming up. You know what I mean?
Right.
She coming back for her spot. Now it's going to be, can Sasha handle Bayley coming back up? And I think
Of course not. She's Sasha Banks.
that's how we get back into their feud.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, this friendship got to end, man.
Right.
So that's what you got going on.
With that, that's right. And I hope Bayley slap Alexa Bliss like that. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. I hope she come all the way back with it, and then turn around with another one. Like, I'm just saying. Not a big old thing. You know what's funny? As much trash as I talk about Alexa Bliss, I actually like her as a wrestler. Now, I'm just saying, I actually like her now. Like, it's funny. I'll talk trash about you all day. Don't mean I don't like you as a wrestler. But sometimes when Alexa talks, like, I really just look for one of those slaps. Like, I'm just kind of like, hey, when somebody's going to come out of nowhere, it's just kind of, uppercut her. Like, I just really need for something to happen here. Like, what the hell? But I digress, people. I digress.
All right.
Let me hush.
So, we're moving down the line here. Jason Jordan had a good match against Kurt Hawkins. Not really a good match. It was decent. It was enough to do what they had to do.
Yeah, didn't you see that intensity in his face?
Yeah.
Okay, Jason.
Pulled straps down, very angle-esque.
Right, like, you know. And I like the little video package they did beforehand, you know, because WWE is like the god of video packages. So how they had, you know, the emulations of Jason Jordan doing things that kind of mannerisms that looked like Kurt Angle, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could see it now, you know, and all that.
Right.
It was kind of awesome.
But next match, the Revival defeat Gallows and Anderson. That was an interesting match as people try to figure out who's going to be the number one contender for SummerSlam. The Hardys show up at the end of the match, but the Revival still was able to maintain and win. Keisha, your thoughts?
We go hard all day. I mean, my bad. I like that song. I can't help but sing it. You know what? I'm not surprised that they beat Gallows and Anderson. I'm really just kind of wondering how far they're going to push the Revival right now. Are they going to be number one contenders? Like, are they going to make this happen? And it's crazy because I now understand why Cesaro and Sheamus were watching in the back. So, yeah, because I must have missed a point somewhere. But that little detail with the death and the leading, I didn't understand. I was just kind of like, why are they watching this? Why are they so intrigued? But then again, it's tag teams. Of course, if you're the tag team champions, you're interested in any and every tag team that's wrestling, regardless if it's for a number one contendership for what you got, or if it's just a match in general, because, hey, who doesn't want to scope out the competition and see what's going on? So, yeah. I thought that it was an excellent match, though. I had no complaints about that. Not even a little bit.
All right. So, main event, Keith. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins defeat the Miz Taraj and Miz. Keith, I think people are actually starting to care about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Oh, but you know who's not? Dean Ambrose. That's who isn't caring about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, because he's like, yeah, I ain't with this shit. Like, but I get it, though.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think that could change.
Of course.
You know, but here's the thing. What are they going to do with the reunion, right? Are they going to be just a tag team, which has been rumored? Are we waiting for Roman to come back? Because, as my daughter, Lynn Holt, youngest correspondent of Ringtown Pro Wrestling, said, she thinks Roman's too full of himself to be part of the Shield again.
I wasn't supposed to laugh at that, but that's funny. Like, she thinks he's too full of himself. Hey, I mean, she could be right. All I'm saying is, I don't know. You know, I'm not really interested in knowing when this reunion's going to be or if it's going to happen and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I really don't care, to tell the truth. I think I was just having this conversation the other day, okay? And here's my personal opinion about this whole thing, this whole Shield reunion thing. When they broke up the Shield, it made sense. And then they separated everybody, you know? Every single one of them has been world champion. They have had a title. And it's just kind of like, all right, so they haven't, none of them have liked any. But, you know, of course, how do you make this happen to where it can be, they can make this happen to where they can have some sense of trust? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Roman probably still doesn't trust Seth. I mean, granted, you've seen them work together and all that kind of stuff and be cool and all that shit. But at the same time, Dean has the right attitude about this whole situation. I can't trust you, dude. Look what you did. And I still don't like you right now. You know? So, who knows how they bring it together, but they got to do it in a very compelling way, because right now I can't see how you could bring that back together to where everybody can be on the same terms with each other. Everybody can agree with each other. Everybody can make this happen. They can make this work. You know? Dean was always reluctant about this in the first place, and he still was. Like, even after the match was over, he was still just kind of like, yeah, dude, bye. You know? Like, it was never, hey, you know, let's be friends type situation, because Dean's like, nah, I ain't with that. So, but that's all my whole personal opinion on the whole Shield reunion thing anyway. I mean, it might happen, might not, but at the same time, like, I'm just sitting back and watching and waiting.
Right. With that being said, that's our wrap up for Raw. We'll come back after a break and hit up the rest of the shows. So, be right back.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Bye. Mr. Owens.
Yeah, look, I don't like you, and you don't like me, and that's why you're putting me in that triple threat tonight. Because you don't want me as the United States champion. Just admit it. Okay? You're putting me in there with Jericho? Last time he was here, I put him out on a stretcher, and now he's out for revenge. And then there's AJ, who can't get over the fact that I'm better than he is, and that I beat him last Sunday. You know the worst part is I don't even have to get pinned to lose my title. AJ can beat Jericho, Jericho can beat AJ, and then they become the champ. That's not right. That's not fair, and you know it.
You know what's right, and you know what's fair? Is that Chris Jericho and AJ Styles have a rematch for the United States Championship. And Kevin, since you made it personal, you're right, you and I don't get along. We don't like each other. And while we're keeping it real, I do not care who the United States Champion is, as long as it's defended here on SmackDown Live. What I care about is giving our SmackDown audience the best possible matchups, period. And tonight's historic main event and the triple threat match with you, Jericho, and AJ is going to be amazing. That's what I care about. It's for the audience.
I don't give a damn about SmackDown Live's audience. And you know what? If you weren't the commissioner, I wouldn't give a damn about you either.
We are back on the other end of the promo there. Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon have a little tense issue there. But let's get to the birthdays, and then we'll get into the news. The news is kind of weird and interesting this week. And then we'll get SmackDown and we're going home.
Mm-hmm.
So, Keish, yesterday was the 27th.
Yes, it was.
I'm going to say this. God made a lot of wrestlers on the 27th. Do you know one Shannon Moore, Matt Hardy's friend, part of that North Carolina clique, was born in 1979 yesterday? Do you know what Dolph Ziggler was born in 1980 on that day? The original Doink the Clown was born on that day in 1957. But the biggest birthday comes from 1969, making him 48 years old. The Game, Triple H, Keish, celebrated birthday July 27th.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of pictures and Instagram posts and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know they weren't going to let him live that one down.
Yeah. WWE shouting out Triple H and saying, look, fuck Dolph Ziggler. We know it's your birthday too today. They can't make 2 Twitter posts. They can't do 2 Facebooks. And they may have. I don't know. But I saw all the ones for Triple H.
Of course.
No shout out to Doink, even though he passed away. Okay. Downer, huh?
No, just a fact. I mean, it is what it is.
Fast forward. Let's get. Oh, I'm sorry. July 28th, today. Noam Dar. Happy birthday. Noam Dar, 24. Just want to make everybody feel old.
You stop it. You're awful. You're not even old. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Keish, do you know somebody that has a screenshot of CM Punk on the SmackDown Live on Hulu? WWE SmackDown Live tonight, 8 p.m. Start your free trial. Oh, because they selling the new Hulu Live stuff, right? Is that what that is? I don't know, but CM Punk is prominently pictured. I don't know if somebody was trolling or if they just had some intern working that didn't care and this was like, this is what we're going to put out there. Because here's the thing. When you sitting up and you doing stuff like this, you have a library of pictures. So I'm sure he's in the library. Not being active since 2014? They don't wrestle. They don't know. Not that you got to wrestle, but hey, I don't watch that shit. That's probably what somebody's saying. Well, they got yelled at for doing it. Dude, you said get a wrestling picture, fool. Oh. But, yeah, Pro Wrestling, I may be wrong, but isn't this CM Punk? Found it on my Xbox store in a Hulu ad. I wonder how is that going to turn out. But that did happen. Raven and Buff Bagwell. You know they got a lawsuit against the WWE for royalties for the WWE Network. I'm gonna say this. Like I've talked about every wrestler that's ever tried to sue the WWE over this WWE Network thing, right?
Go ahead.
Nobody ever wins this shit. Why do y'all keep wasting time and lawyer fees? See, what happens is people get lawyers to get them gassed up, right? Now, Raven is special because Raven supposedly is very, very smart, right? Like borderline genius shit that people say. I don't know how true it is. Maybe the dude just read a lot. But that's what they say. I think he still got hustled. I don't think he's no legal scholar. I think they told him about a particular clause in those WCW contracts that the WWE did acquire. Not saying they acquired theirs, but they did acquire those contracts. And can they get royalties for new technology and da-da-da? Right. It's a reason why they have never lost this thing so far. Also, this is the one thing I want to say quiet as kept. How could they determine who deserves what based on the drawing power of what? You know what I mean? I mean, they could use the things that were streamed and use the streaming stats or whatever. And if you was on that show that people were streaming, then maybe you could slide in to get the 0.2%. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be small, right? Keish. How much money do you think Buff Bagwell and Raven have made for the WWE Network? Do you think it's enough money to provide one subscription for somebody for a month? I say yes if they're signing up for the free trial. The point is too, and that's the funny thing. Most of the wrestlers who make this case and try to make the case against the WWE about those royalties are guys that ain't been old enough. You know, people who like was on ECW for a couple of years, right? They don't drive the traffic for the fucking network. But the guys who were legendary, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, stuff like that, you know how they get them? WWE Hall of Fame, Keish. Hall of Fame. Or Legends contracts.
Right.
So they already take care of those people. Michael Hayes don't care about his. He know where his bread coming from. But, hey, man. If you ain't like Kevin Von Erich know where his bread coming from. Be good. You call Kevin anytime.
Yeah, you call Kevin anytime.
Right. So
anybody else.
I think they're in good shape. And I just think Buff and Raven might need to get better lawyers. The ones that would tell them
right.
Y'all waste fucking money, man. We go into these cases and file motions just to lose. Y'all wasting money. ESPN officially announced the 30 for 30 for Ric Flair premiere night. It will be November 7th. Keish, how excited are you to see this Ric Flair 30 for 30?
I am going to watch it, and I'm going to see it.
Okay. Because here's the thing. I think the Ric Flair 30 for 30, one, I've said this before when we talked about this 30 for 30, what we thought was going to come out September. I'm a huge fan of the 30 for 30 series. I think it's one of the best things that's on TV. It's going to be sad as shit. I just want to let y'all know. As talented all the stuff he is in the ring, the dude been married like 4 times. He broke. He owe all kinds of people money. I'm going to say this. That this 30 for 30 going to be sad. It's going to be good. And he's still alive. So it's going to end good. He's back in the WWE. So they still making money. But it's going to be some sad points. Now, somebody like Keisha, I think you will get a lot out of this because you come in that immediate generation after his first big run, right? So you see Flair through the 90s, mid to late 90s. So as big as he was, I think you'll get a better understanding on what the magnitude of what he was. Because you get to see what it was like in 85, 86. Just understand. This dude was that dude. He was... I mean, in wrestling, there was 2 figures. It was him and Hogan in the 80s. And we were still regionally fractured from the territory system. So, as big as Hogan was, one reason he was able to run in WCW in 94 is because he was a new commodity in the South in 94. Because if you grew up below the Mason-Dixie, it was about Flair. You heard of Hulk Hogan. Oh, he was a big deal, but it was Flair. Flair was the icon. Like I said, somewhere there is an article or a think piece that should be coming about the Ric Flair experience and what it meant to contemporary hip-hop culture. Because hip hop culture as it currently stands, I think is largely influenced by the South. The South is the thing that drives how the culture exists now. And a lot of the elder statesmen, not even elder statesmen, but the guys who really put some footnotes in were guys of the Ric Flair generation. And it's seen in a lot of songs, most notably a song that we use for this show, Killer Mike's Ric Flair. I mean, the styling, the profiling. One time Flair said something that I thought was very interesting. He was bling before bling was cool. And that's what he was. When hip-hop entered the bling bling era, that was a descent of Ric Flair. Rolex wearing. You know what I'm saying? That was that guy. When you tell a dude in a promo, most wrestler promos are about the guys and their ability and how better, da-da-da. Rick said, look, I can't even take this dude serious that came out here hollering my name when I done spent more money on spilt liquor, which also, very gangster, you spent on spilt liquor from bars on one side of the country to the other than you made last year. He said his liquor tab is more than your paycheck. First of all, he just called you broke. He just said, look, you's a broke buster. And that being said, being that broke of a person, you shouldn't even address me. So hip hop. Also, so funny. Yeah. Yeah, so that 30 for 30. I think we're going to be very entertained. I think we're going to get a lot out of it. Like I said, it's the best serious I think they have on there. I think the guy who did Book of Manning is the guy who was doing this Flair one. I expect a lot of good archival footage. ESPN is a partner with WWE, so I'm sure they have access to the bank. They have access to do whatever they want to do. So, November 7th, be there, be in your seats, be glued, because it's going down.
Yeah, and I'm watching everything. All
yes.
it. And I probably end up writing a review.
Yeah.
If not half, because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm marking it in my calendar.
Got it. Do you know there was a rumored bar incident between Kira Jarrett and Braun Strowman?
What? Stop playing.
All right. So what happened was last week or so, when Raw was in Nashville, Kira Jarrett rolled up to Braun Strowman at a bar. She said, "Hey man, you really talented. I like you. My son is a fan. Can I get an autograph for my son?" They said Braun was like, "Look, lady, you need to get the hell away from me because I don't care about you or your damn son." And I paraphrase it. I don't know exactly what happened. And they said Karen Angle went on to cut a live promo on Braun and said, "Look, hey, you gotta figure something out." So Karen cuts her promo. She gets angry and she tells him, "And I'm gonna tell Kurt Angle that you ain't give his son an autograph." Da da da. Okay, they say the script flips at that moment. Word on the street is Braun starts apologizing. They said he got on his knees at the bar, like, "Please don't tell." Da da da. She said, "Nope, I'm doing it." Now, I'm not gonna say that man got on his knees in front of everybody at a bar.
Right.
I think that's a little bit of exaggeration to tell the story. Meltzer has reported it. I really haven't seen too many other people. Of course, nobody's going to admit to it in a real life if it actually happened.
Exactly.
But
get out of here. I don't believe that story.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I've heard people say, and I've heard they said Karen was bad and said, hey, you shouldn't treat a fan like that no matter who the father of the kid is, da-da-da-da, this, that, the third. I hear you, Karen, but if that's true, I would say, that's stupid because you wouldn't have brought up who you were and who your kid was. If it shouldn't matter. All right. So it fucking matters. It's going to always matter, right?
Right.
Also, how else? Yeah. I just don't think that they would have did this and nobody else is with. I mean, like, I think we would have got more stories. Also, I think somebody would have had their camera phone recording Broad on his knees. You know what I mean? Looking crazy.
You know, it would have been on TMZ by now, or ESPN, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been YouTube, or somebody would have seen this. Like, if there was my whole thing is, Braun Strowman is too big of a man for you not to even, like, not notice him, let alone not notice an incident of this magnitude. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, for there not to be more witnesses of this incident or somebody else saying this actually happened, that's where, for me, it's like, okay, somebody's full of shit. Like that's where I'm like, I don't believe this happened. Like, and it might have happened, but not exactly in that fashion. But I'm just sitting here like, nah.
Right.
Nah. I can't believe that happened. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how else to put that, but it ain't.
Also,
I don't think it's true.
Because I've seen people online debate whether it was true because Kurt Angle is just an authority figure on TV and it's a storyline, and Braun. Look, two things. One, I get that, but that ain't why. If you know anything about the wrestling business is all about respect. And you would have ended up, if hypothetically, let's say the story's true, dissing Kurt Angle's kid would get you on the bad side of a lot of people quick. And you too young, even though you're Braun Strowman, you're too young in the business to not give Kurt his acknowledgement and make sure everything is good. This is a business where if I'm backstage and I see the Undertaker, I'm supposed to walk up to him and tell him, hey, I'm the Undertaker. Hi, Undertaker, I'm Keith Hope. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's the etiquette. And if you don't do that, you don't introduce yourself to every single person in that locker room, you are seen as somebody that they have to look out for and cannot trust.
Immediately.
Right.
So that's why I'm sitting here like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's another thing, too. And I know this might be a little far-fetched, but at the same time, if you know Kurt Angle and you know his career and you follow him enough, right? If you even went as far as to just watch like the short documentaries that they've done on him, the short specials the WWE has done on him recently, then you would know who Karen is, because you would have seen her face.
Not necessarily. I mean, nobody watches TNA, Keith.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, so I watched Kurt Angle Homecoming, right? And I didn't realize that the first time that you seen Kurt Angle in WWE, like ever, I didn't realize that Karen was sitting right next to him. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you're right. I watched TNA, so I knew who Karen Jarrett is, or who she once was, like what her last name used to be, and you know, her association with Kurt. So it's not But yeah, you know what? Now that you say it, I get it. If you didn't watch TNA, you wouldn't know who Karen is, because I mean, no one knows all the ex-wives and wives or whoever of the superstars. So yeah, I guess but I guess it made sense in my mind when I thought about it. Like, well, you would know who Karen is if you know Kurt Angle, but then again, you wouldn't, because you know his wife now, because she was at the Hall of Fame, and of course, she's in WWE Homecoming and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that does make sense. So it is easy to kind of bypass who, I wouldn't necessarily say bypass, but kind of like not know who Karen is because of that. So.
Yeah. Well, also, I want to say this too. Aside from everything else, the business, the respect, and making sure you take care of your elders and make sure things are done right, Kurt Angle crazy. I know Braun Strowman huge, but Kurt Angle like killer in real life. You don't want no problems.
You really don't. Like, Ron, you big and everything, but you ain't fucking with Kurt Angle. So let's just be real. Like, let's just be honest about this entire situation. Because you know what? I don't think I've ever heard the backstage stories of Kurt getting in fights, and stuff like that. Because I don't think anybody really wanted to fuck with Kurt Angle like that. Like, I really think that people were kind of like, no. As much as someone might have not liked them or something, I'm pretty sure they didn't approach him. It was like, yeah, like bust their chest up and was like really trying to fight him. Like, I know I wouldn't. No. Nope. Because Kurt Angle look like he can get that look in his eye, and I'm good. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the most reaction from most superstars, and they say, no, I'm good. Like, nah, we're good. So,
I guess with that being said, we can get into the SmackDown recap, and we can take this on to the crib.
SmackDown.
KO comes out as a new U.S. champion. He promises that he will start the Challenge Series next week, but he gets a surprise, Keish. Not one, but two surprises. AJ Styles and a returning Chris Jericho.
Oh, I was excited about that one.
Didn't know Jericho was returning. Good to see Jericho. Him and Fozzy been having a nice summer run. They set up a match for later on in the night. Shinsuke Nakamura gets his rematch against Baron Corbin for hitting him in the jimmy. And this time Nakamura wins. Thoughts, Keish, or we?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm glad that he beat him fairly, but it's like I was just kind of like, okay. I think that's the bad part about the match itself and this whole feud between them two. I was just like, yeah, okay. So
yeah, no, I understand. I completely understand. Becky Lynch and Charlotte defeat Tamina and Lana because Lana screws up, attacks herself in, shows some inexperience.
Of course. Lana, when are you gonna learn? Like, really, seriously, like, when are you gonna learn? Because I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's this thing between her and Tamina. Like, what the hell?
I don't understand it. Yeah, and also, it's kind of weird they running it concurrently with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, like, do the blonde chicks get an island girl? Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to run those both at the same time.
Yeah. It is. It's very.
Yeah. Jinder Mahal beats John Cena. And John Cena gave that. He didn't go over the top this week. He didn't give no overly America and land of the promise. Jinder was
honestly,
I ain't impressed.
yeah, I have to honestly say I'm not looking forward to this. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm not looking forward to it. So, no. I'm sorry. No. Like, yes, Jinder Mahal did get to meet John Cena, and I was already unimpressed. And very quickly in my mind, I was like, "Oh my God, I hope this doesn't happen," because I'm not wanting to see that, Keith. Like, I just don't.
Right.
I really don't. You know, I wholeheartedly can say I don't want to see that. So I don't know how they're going to play this out, but I hope they don't go in the direction of having them actually face each other at SummerSlam, because that's not going to be very interesting to me or to many others. Like, it's just not. Like, just stop it already. So, I mean, I'm still trying to take in that Jinder Mahal has been champion this long, because he's still champion. So I'm just trying to really let that sink in and kind of like manifest in my mind a little bit, because I'm just trying to really, really understand the fact that he has his belt. But at the same time, like, him and Cena, no. Let's not do that.
You know that's probably going to be your SummerSlam, right?
Yeah. Ew. I'm sorry. No. But we get a good match out of it for next week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do. So, Shinsuke gets to face Cena. Now, I have a question, Keith.
Shoot.
Who put that together as a dream match? That was never my dream match. I never wanted to see that shit. Well, who put that together as a dream match?
People have very much short-term memories.
I'm just saying. Like, Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena, like, wait a minute, who said that this is a dream match? What?
All right.
Like, okay.
So,
I don't know. I was just wondering.
Well, John Cena is not going to be handed no more contendership. He has to face Shinsuke Nakamura next week to determine which one will be number one. Now, as hype as I am, and as hype as I've been, I had to be realistic, Keish. I don't think they're going to let Nakamura win.
Fortunately not.
They won't let my man be great.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to need them to stop that, because they need to just go ahead and let it happen. Just let it happen.
So, next, Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger defeat Aiden English and Mike Kanellis in a tag match that really nobody cared about.
No. But I am so glad that Ty has gotten some TV time.
Right.
Yay for Ty Dillinger. I don't care what nobody says. I am a fan of Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger, so whatever. Like,
I find Sami Zayn annoying, but Ty Dillinger, talented young man. We'll see what happens.
Why do you find him annoying?
I just do.
What is annoying about
He seems kind of whiny. That's all. He seems kind of whiny.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I like Sami Zayn. I might make his song my ringtone just to get on your nerves. Like, every time you come over, I'm just going to have my phone ring just because. I'm going to do the whole dance and everything. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love me for it. So, yeah. That's my plan, people.
The New Day gets jumped by the Usos. Keish, how's the three of y'all, the two dudes, jump y'all without no weapons?
I don't know, but that was awesome. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I know I sound way too excited about this situation, but that was awesome. And you're right. I didn't understand that either. I was like, how the fuck did they get jumped by two dudes? It's three of them, Keith. It is three of them. It's 3 of them. But you know what? This is what I didn't get about it, right? Because I'm pretty sure all 3 of y'all are standing together backstage when Big E does the big introduction for all of you. Why the hell did y'all allow him to get jumped? Like, what the fuck happened to where y'all are getting beat up coming out? Like, what really happened? Can we discuss this? Because I just really need to understand how, Because the numbers game should have been, it was big enough in my own personal opinion. It was big enough for that not to happen. And yet it did. They kicked the shit out of 3 of you. I have to honestly say, though, I thought it was awesome. I was like, oh, my God. Like, I seriously was like, so are they really just, like, getting their ass kicked right now? Hey, that was some Uso stuff. As they say, day one-ish. Like, I loved it. I was cheering and everything. So, I don't know about you, but I supported it. Go Usos. Like, for real?
Yeah.
Is this really what we do?
Still trying to figure out how 2 people jump 3 guys. But still,
No.
I thought it established the Usos. It gave them more enhancement as heels. And the New Day are going to be in for a rough run against these guys. Match of the evening, AJ Styles reclaims the United States title after 2 nights away from the belt, defeating Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in a triple threat match.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm sure KO was pissed because he did not get pinned.
You know what? I didn't even realize that until I watched it again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. He didn't get pinned.
Will lead to a match next week, a rematch, 1-on-1, AJ versus KO. Should be good, along with the Nakamura John Cena match, first time ever, once in a lifetime.
Right. That match was greatness.
Right.
Everything about that match screamed that it needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that they were all 3 of them were put it together in that match. I wasn't really supporting that the United States title be defended on SmackDown either, but once Chris Jericho got thrown into the mix, I was like, okay, you got to do it. You have to, because there is no way that you can have Chris Jericho here coming for a claim of that exact same belt and not have that match right now, So with AJ Styles pinning Chris Jericho and there being like, and Kevin Owens not even being a part of the decision was the best thing ever. And personally, I can actually see the match set up for SummerSlam being all 3 of them again, or even another added to it, because the United States title match at SummerSlam ain't gonna be 1-on-1. I can tell you that now. And if it is 1-on-1, then it's going to involve Kevin Owens. Right. So we can see, but man, it was an awesome finish by the Phenomenal One, and I loved it. SmackDown was very clarifying for me, and it clarified why a lot of people felt the way they did. Why some of them felt the way they did when it came to the end of the Battleground PPV and when it came to SmackDown itself.
Yeah, here's what I was saying. SmackDown superior show to Raw this week. The stories advanced very well. I think they ended the Cena gender thing without having a violent confrontation.
Right.
And I think It's cool. Like I said, be interested to see how all this keeps plugging in. The Usos look very good against the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they give those belts a punch that they didn't have a while back.
Right.
Right. So, all in all, though, impressed, and I can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yeah, I guess we do.
All right.
So, I mean, can I say one thing, though? And this is going to be completely off left field real quick, but did you see that promo that was cut with Natalya and Naomi? Here's why I bring this up. Because that promo in itself showed me why Natalya was chosen to be Naomi's number one contender for SummerSlam. It did. I feel like now I understand the setup for SummerSlam in that match. Not only that, but there was one person that we keep forgetting about that is around. Carmella, Mrs. Money in the Bank. Because I definitely don't see her on TV. They don't talk about her. I feel like, to me, they're doing her a disservice by giving her that briefcase. Not because Carmella's so horrible, I don't like her or whatever. Now, I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to display Mr. Money in the Bank the way you do, you need to do Mrs. Money in the Bank the exact same way.
Right.
No, she doesn't need to be included in number one contenders matches. She's carrying a number one contender slip in her briefcase. She has a number one contender spot regardless of any match or anything. But y'all throw everybody else in the matches together and y'all just completely discard her as if she's not even there. That's a problem. Baron Corbin is currently in an active feud with Shinsuke, but he's on TV every week. This was the first time I've seen Carmella on TV this week, and it shouldn't have been that way. It should never have been that way. So, if y'all that Mrs. Money in the Bank deserves the exact same treatment that Mr. Money in the Bank gets. Period.
Right.
Because even if you have her coming out there cutting meaningless promos or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At least you put her on TV every week. Because I have to honestly say, I forgot about that, Keith. I did. I forgot about that little factor that can now be added into the women's division. There is a Mrs. Money in the Bank running around, and she is waiting and anticipating to cash in for her title. It's only a matter of time. I'm not saying that it's going to be soon because Money in the Bank wasn't that long ago, so I know it ain't going to be like tomorrow. But at the same time, we don't know that.
Right.
The champion doesn't know that, so...
On that note, and with that being said, Keish, we're going to wrap this up.
All right.
Good to hear from y'all, see y'all, and we will be back next week, like I said, with some more hard-hitting wrestling. Peace.
Of course. Bye.